Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
We begin tonight with the plan for a massive reopening of New York. In just over 2 weeks, most restrictions will be lifted. Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst joins us with details and reaction.
Good evening, and the announcement comes as COVID cases continue to go down and more people get vaccinated. One restaurant owner tells me that this announcement will help local businesses as they get one step closer to normality. The announcement drew massive headlines.
Today is a milestone for New York State and a significant moment of transition.
On Monday, Governor Cuomo announced that most capacity restrictions for businesses will be lifted by May 19th.
Should help everybody. It's a little sense of back to normal for some of these businesses.
Like many local businesses, Thad Boyles of Atlas Pizzeria said he had to constantly adapt to keep up with COVID restrictions. He says the announcement will help many Corning businesses, especially as we approach the summer months.
We're starting to hit our touristy time in the area, and we need those 100% evenings or days to make up for those days that we're not able to fill at 100%.
Boyle says he hopes to welcome back more customers to his restaurant and thanks local residents for their support during the worst of the pandemic.
People responded to that for the most part, was very helpful for us and obviously helped keep us going.
Now, there are some caveats to this announcement. Capacity restrictions will still be in place for outdoor stadiums and large-scale indoor events, and social distancing will still be required. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
The Clemens Center in Elmira is bringing back its popular Broadway series this fall. The theater previously canceled all shows as the pandemic took hold in the state. Karen Cromer says the Clemens Center is ready to welcome back patrons and that the shows are a way to thank their members for their support last year.
Many of them have doubled or tripled their giving over the past year, despite the fact we weren't able to give them anything in return. They've stepped up in a way that's warmed our hearts, and without that, it would have been really emotionally very hard to go on.
The Clemens Center Broadway series will open up on October 15th with An Officer and a Gentleman. For more information on the Broadway lineup and ticket sales, residents are asked to visit the Clemens Center website or call their box office. More than 40% of adults in the U.S. are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. That's the latest data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But what about kids? When can they get vaccinated? As Britt Conway reports, for some kids, it could be as soon as next week.
Ready?
This is just trying to beat the virus, try to get everything back to normal.
For Ben Dropic, that meant taking part in a Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine trial for kids 12 to 15 years old. And now, a federal government official tells CNN the Food and Drug Administration is ready to extend its emergency use authorization for that vaccine by early next week. Moderna's president says that company is aiming to have its vaccine authorized for kids 12 and up by this summer. And Novavax has just expanded its phase 3 trial for the same age group. For younger kids, Pfizer and Moderna are both testing on children as young as 6 months and expect to ask the FDA for emergency use authorization for those ages later this year.
I try my best.
Teeing up President Joe Biden's suggestion that kids should be back in the classroom by this fall. Getting there won't be easy.
It's going to take a truly coordinated effort to achieve both the rollout of COVID-19 vaccine in adolescents and a rapid catch-up of routine vaccinations.
But health experts say it's crucial.
If we don't immunize that group, that's going to leave a big part of the population that's susceptible to the virus and be able to continue on the pandemic.
If we keep vaccinating Americans, I think by July 1st, you're going to see much of America feel close to normal.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
New York police arrested a woman after a red-eye flight over the weekend for assaulting a flight attendant. Authorities say Chinasia Campbell punched a flight attendant in an altercation that stemmed from her refusal to comply with federal face mask requirements. It happened on an American Airlines flight that left Miami just before midnight Saturday and landed in New York after 2 a.m. An off-duty New York police officer who was also on board detained Campbell with hand restraints until the Boeing 777 landed at JFK Airport. She was then met by police officers who took her into custody. American Airlines has placed Campbell on its internal refuse list pending an investigation. New York City police are looking for the person caught on video punching a woman in the head. It happened at the 14th Street and 1st Avenue subway station in New York City Sunday. The video shows the suspect coming up from behind, hitting the woman, and taking off with the victim's backpack. The victim had swelling to her head but refused medical attention at the scene. Police say the victim's stolen backpack had several items inside, including an Apple MacBook Air and debit and credit cards. Anyone with information is asked to call police right away. 2 police officers in New York going above and beyond, showing compassion to a person in need. The officers were responding to a call about a shoplifter at a Dollar Tree in Mount Vernon. Well, when Mount Vernon police officers Cartwright and Velez got there, they found a homeless man who was accused of stealing socks from the store. Instead of arresting him, the officers bought $15 worth of socks for him. One of the officers goes on to tell the man that he can always get help at police headquarters. 5 people now arrested for a massive human smuggling operation in Houston. On Friday, police found almost 100 undocumented immigrants packed inside a home. Matthew Seedorf has the latest on the investigation.
5 people arrested accused of using this Southwest Houston home for human smuggling. According to new disturbing court documents, 97 people were found Friday morning packed inside this home off Chessington Drive. The undocumented immigrants, mostly men, stripped down to their underwear. The rooms had a deadbolt on the door facing outside, preventing escape from inside. Court records claim the undocumented immigrants were held captive for ransom money, stating if the money was not paid, they would be put in 4 pieces of wood.
It was just rare for us, here. We just couldn't figure out why and how they did it.
Those who live off Chessington Drive still can't believe it.
It was not like TV. It was real. And I think it was awful.
President Biden is raising the cap on refugee admissions to more than 62,000. The decision came following intense pressure from congressional Democrats who were not satisfied with the president keeping the historically low number set by the previous administration. The Biden administration is still facing backlash from Republicans over its response to the surge of migrants arriving at the border. Mark Meredith reports from Washington.
The president has been committed to the refugee program and to rebuilding it and regaining our status as a world leader in the refugee affairs.
The Biden administration reversing course on refugee admissions into the United States. President Biden is increasing the cap to more than 62,000 this year. The president initially planned to keep the cap of 15,000, a number first set by the Trump administration. But Democrats and immigration reform advocates voiced their displeasure about the decision and demanded a change. In a tweet, President Biden wrote, "The U.S. refugee admissions program embodies our commitment to protect the most vulnerable. It's a statement about who we are and who we want to be."
This is a national security issue. This is an issue that's facing our country, and yet President Biden, Vice President Harris have done nothing. They haven't been to the border and visited to see what's going on.
Republicans remain strongly opposed to President Biden's immigration policies. GOP lawmakers are demanding the White House spend more money to secure the border and reimpose Trump-era policies. The debate comes amid border officials in Arizona reporting more than 1,600 migrants were apprehended over the weekend.
The facts on the ground matter, and they're telling the truth, and that is that border continues to be open because of the policies that have been put in place.
Republicans are also urging the White House to restart construction of the border wall. The president froze new construction on his first day in office. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Americans are buying more guns than ever. The FBI says it conducted more than 3.5 million gun-related background checks last month. That marks a 20% increase over the same period last year. The National Shooting Sports Foundation, which cross-references checks with actual purchases, says more guns were sold last month than any April on record. The top-selling state for guns so far this year is Illinois. The spike in gun sales is thought to be fueled by fears about looming gun control legislation and rising crime rates. Still ahead tonight, a record number of people are traveling by car and plane as consumer confidence soars.
As more and more Americans get vaccinated, there's just a larger consumer confidence in terms of travel, and we're seeing that already.
How the demand in travel is affecting gas prices.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kim Walker with your weather update. Temperatures today really soared into the mid to upper 70s. 12 degrees warmer in Elmira, 8 degrees warmer in Corning, about 6 degrees warmer in Bath. But unfortunately, a cold front is moving in tonight, and it will put a halt to our warming trend. Behind this front, that air is just going to feel that much colder because we're going to drop down by 20 degrees. So behind this low pressure system that's moving through, we are expecting very chilly air to take over once that rain moves away. And we are expecting that chilly air to stick around for the remainder of the week. So here's a look at your hourly planner. Temperatures will be mainly in the 50s. Early in the morning hours, and we do have the possibility of rain through about noon and then really just tapering off in the afternoon. There could be an isolated shower or two in the evening hours, but overall I think most of this rain will be moving away. And here's our next rainmaker. It will arrive on Friday, and this time around it will really pull cooler air in with temperatures that will be about 10 degrees cooler than what we're experiencing right now. So we are expecting the jet stream to head to the south by the weekend, and that's going to leave us with temperatures that will be about 10 to 15 degrees below normal. Let's take a look at our rain chances. Our future radar is showing for tonight there will be some showers remaining, and then there could be some drenching rain into the overnight through about 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and then a few more showers during the day. But notice in the afternoon, most of this will be tapering off. There could be 1 or 2 showers here and there in the evening hours, but I think that will move away. And then by Thursday, we should enjoy a little bit drier conditions. Tonight, we drop down to around 57 degrees in Corning, as well as in Elmira, 54 degrees in Perkinsville. Look for highs around 61 degrees in Mansfield, but 59 in Elmira and Corning, and cooler in Bath at 53 degrees. We are expecting the rain to end up by the afternoon tomorrow. Then drier conditions on Thursday, a little bit warmer as well, with a high around 60 degrees. And then that next system will really pull down those temperatures. In fact, highs will really just be in the low 50s through the weekend. And look at these overnight lows. They will be down into the 30s. So it's going to be quite cold in the next few days, at least in the morning hours. But then early next week, we are expecting temperatures to be a little bit closer to normal, with highs in the low 60s with a little bit of sunshine on Monday and Tuesday. So we are going to see a little bit drier conditions after Mother's Day.
It's how many Americans start their morning. The FDA says about 4 in 5 U.S. adults have caffeine every day, but it's important to know how much is too much and when to stop so it doesn't affect your sleep. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
For many, it's a way to jumpstart the day, but caffeine has its downsides.
There's definitely some health benefits, but there's also some drawbacks if people take in too much.
Consuming too much caffeine can make you jittery and anxious, increase heart rate, cause an upset stomach, nausea, or headache. It can also lead to insomnia.
Probably everybody knows somebody who can drink coffee and then go to bed an hour or two later.
Liz Wynandy, a registered dietitian at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, says caffeine affects people differently. So how much is too much can vary person to person, depending on body weight, medications, and sensitivity.
Not drinking coffee after noon, around 12 p.m. is a good idea to make sure that it's out of a person's system almost entirely by the time they go to bed.
For healthy adults, the FDA recommends no more than 400 milligrams a day. That's about 4 or 5 cups of coffee. Wynandy says it should be spread out, not consumed in one sitting. And if you think you're taking in too much, cut back gradually.
So maybe tapering down over a week is ideal. If someone decides to go cold turkey, it's really, most people are going to have a headache. They'll have some increased drowsiness, but usually that only lasts for a couple of days.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
One Colorado student's dream of graduating valedictorian could have been crushed by her leukemia diagnosis several years ago. Despite months of chemo treatment and a bone marrow transplant, she kept up her studies and maintained her standing. Byron Reed has her story.
Ever since her freshman year of high school,
I guess it just shows how badly I wanted it.
Kristen Tiefertiller has been motivated to graduate first in her class.
So far, I'm still valedictorian. It's just been something I've wanted, and I couldn't tell you why I wanted it.
She's a senior at Holly High School in Southeast Colorado and getting ready to graduate in a couple of weeks. It's a milestone she didn't think she would ever see.
Just bent down and scraped my knee, like the lightest scrape, and it bled for like an hour and a half.
In 2019, she was admitted to Children's Hospital.
So I was in Denver a total of 7 months.
Diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, a type of lethal blood cancer.
There was a time when I didn't know if I was going to make it.
After 2 traditional chemo treatments, Kristen received a revolutionary bone marrow transplant and is now cancer-free. She says even though she was in the hospital, she managed to keep up with her schoolwork and maintain her class's highest GPA.
Luckily, my teachers down here, they agreed to do Google Classrooms, so I could do work through that and still be on track a little bit.
Adolescents especially have realistic expectations, and the fact that she is still valedictorian is, although not surprising to me, just an incredible achievement on her part.
Dr. Bob, he was there telling me, he's like, you don't have to be number one with everything you're going through. And I pretty much told him, watch me, I will.
Kristen says even though graduation day will be a little stressful,
I'm not the best in front of a lot of people.
it's a day she's been determined not to miss.
I will enjoy knowing that through everything, these are the people that had my back.
After more than a year of limited travel or no travel at all, a record number of people are gearing up to go on vacation or visit their loved ones, even if it means bringing the masks and the hand sanitizer. And that demand is raising prices, whether you're traveling on the road or in the skies. Mandy Gaither reports.
With COVID-19 cases down in much of the U.S., that travel boom experts have been predicting is here, and it's not even summer yet. A record number of people are driving and flying places.
As more and more Americans get vaccinated, there's just a larger consumer confidence in terms of travel, and we're seeing that already.
And gas prices are soaring. Monday's national average price for a gallon of gasoline is $2.90. According to AAA, that's up 1 cent from last week. For comparison, 1 year ago, the price was $1.78.
It's still different, right? We're still traveling with masks. We're still traveling with hand sanitizer, cleaning supplies, calling ahead to understand if there are restrictions in place. But when it comes to the volume of people traveling, that's definitely going to feel more normal than we have seen in the past year.
People are also taking to the skies. On Sunday, the TSA screened more than 1.6 million people across U.S. airports, nearly 10 times higher than a year ago.
If you're flying, you should not expect an empty plane these days. The TSA screening about 65% of passengers from pre-pandemic, which is pretty high considering there's almost no international flights today.
TSA has reported more than 1 million daily screened passengers since March 11th. Travel experts say several things are behind the increase in travel, including more people getting vaccinated and new CDC guidelines making people feel safer traveling. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The price of corn is popping. Corn prices are up more than 30%, the highest prices in nearly 8 years. It means you may soon have to fork over more money to make some of your favorite corn-based dishes like tortillas, cornbread, and other products. You may notice the rise in prices later this summer. Teams of construction crews are working to build a new airport in Kansas City, and one worker is also building quite the following on social media. She is the only female bricklayer on her crew, and as Charlie Keegan reports, she's inspiring others using social media.
In a world of hard hats and steel beams, Lindsay Heath stands out. This hard worker is beaming with enthusiasm.
I'm so fascinated every day. I'm like, wow, we do that too. Okay, right on.
The bricklayer building the new KCI airport shared her positive approach on the TikTok account she created between jobs last year. In this video, a mom writes her daughter was upset about getting glasses.
Sawyer, do you like your glasses?
Lindsay replied.
Hi Sawyer, my name's Lindsay and I'm the only female bricklayer that's working on the Kansas City International Single Terminal Airport. I just wanted to show you some of the cool things I get to do with my glasses. I heard you got new ones. I hope you really like them. See all these guys here, these operators? They wear glasses all day too and we do some pretty cool stuff.
In less than 1 month, this video has 10 million views and about 8,000 comments, including one from Sawyer's mom. It says, "This is amazing. You are so wonderful for doing this."
Oh, I don't want to see a baby sad. Oh, that just breaks me. And so I just wanted to encourage her, like, hey, you know, I'm out here doing things. You know, don't let anything hold you back.
Turns out Heath got that encouragement as a kid herself. Her father installed the drywall on the original KCI airport. Now the next generation of Heath skilled workers is building the next generation of airports. Lindsay's seen here installing panels in a video the construction company shared with me.
It's kind of like come full circle in my family.
And do you remember this one line from that TikTok video?
I'm the only female bricklayer that's working on the Kansas City International Single Terminal Airport.
Lindsay is, in fact, the only female member of the Bricklayers Union working at the airport. And just like she used TikTok to encourage young Sawyer,
I get this question a lot. I didn't know where to start.
She posts videos hoping other women will try a trade.
Everybody had to have a first day, okay? So, you know, don't be scared. Like, it's nothing to be worried about. Like, I enjoy it. I was intimidated at first, and now I'm so comfortable and relaxed.
Her foreman told me Lindsay's got what it takes to be a forewoman herself.
It's her demeanor, her ability to pay attention and actually take something from what I'm trying to teach her out there. And the biggest job for a foreman is to make sure everybody goes home safe.
So Lindsay grabs her safety glasses and does some pretty cool stuff.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. Break out the lightsabers and may the 4th be with you. You knew we had to talk about this at some point in the show. It is National Star Wars Day on May 4th. It's a day for Star Wars fans to celebrate all things pertaining to a galaxy far, far away. So how was May 4th claimed by Star Wars fans? It originated in Toronto in 2011 with a trivia game and a costume contest. Disney World celebrated by debuting a short clip showing a new lightsaber, teasing a new Star Wars-themed hotel set to open next year at the park. You can celebrate the day by showing off your lightsaber, or maybe your best Wookiee impression on social media. Use the hashtag National Star Wars Day. From our whole team, thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great night.